Good evening and thank you for joining us for KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
It's good to have you here. I'm Whitney Ward. We do begin with breaking news tonight. The FBI is helping Pullman and Moscow police with a search of a home in connection to a missing 2-year-old.
The toddler was last seen nearly 3 weeks ago back on May 29th, and police believe she has been taken to Mexico by her father, Aaron Ong, and his fiancée, Nadia Cole.
KREM 2's Amanda Rowley is live outside the house where that search is taking place. So Amanda, what have you seen here in the last hour?
Well, Mark and Whitney, law enforcement packed up and left just about an hour ago. But before that, we saw several law enforcement vehicles parked here in the street, as well as people with FBI shirts coming and going from the home that they executed that search warrant on. But we also talked to neighbors who say they saw a lot more police activity this morning. Specifically, they saw police officers searching that blue van, the green car behind it, and the white car over there just across the street. Take a listen.
There was, police cars with their lights on, and I was curious about what was happening, so I looked out my front window and there was probably 5 or 6 police cars going through this green car right here, and yeah, I've seen FBI come and go.
Pullman Police Department says they executed a search warrant that authorizes search of Aaron Ung's family home, and they searched for any evidence or information relating to the disappearance of Ung's 2-year-old daughter, Soraya Ung Harmon. Pullman PD says she was supposed to return to her mother's custody in Pullman 2 weeks ago. Now, investigators believe Ung may be traveling to Mexico with his fiancée, Nadia Cole, who is a WSU grad. Cole was reported missing after she failed to board a flight with her family. Now, investigators say the local agencies are continuing to work tirelessly to locate 2-year-old Soraya. Anyone with information about this case are asked to call the Pullman Police Department or your local police department. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
All right, Amanda, thank you very much. All right, let's talk weather now, because here on the South Hill, we can hear the rain just coming down on the roof here at KREM 2 tonight.
It's a lot of rain, and also there's a big event tonight, Summer Parkways on Spokane South Hill, starting in less than an hour. So let's turn to our chief meteorologist to find out if it's going to be a rainy event.
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah. You know what? Let's just hope I'm wrong. Here's how it works. Notice how organized it was and how unorganized it's getting. This is just a half-hour radar loop. So we go from these very lined up cells that are filled with convection, thunder and lightning, and a ton of heavy rain, and even some reports of hail up to the size of a penny up near Colbert. Now, with these storms moving more in a east-southeasterly direction, we are still seeing that line. Notice there's a bunch behind it. If we look up to the west-northwest, there's still a ton of activity, so that is headed toward us. However, the fact that in the past half hour, we go from this incredible radar scan with tons of thunder and lightning to now seeing it turn into more of a big green blob, that tells me we're losing some of the energy in the atmosphere. So I can confidently say the rain will be lighter at 6 p.m. than it is now. I cannot confidently say it will be totally dry, but it could still start drying out. Off to the north, we have a little bit more activity. Those cells over near Hayden and Coeur d'Alene winding down. Sandpoint, you're in the steady stuff. Colville, Chihuahua, you're on the backside now. And notice there is a bunch more drying happening just off to the north and west. So that tells me we could very well dry out. Forecast models keep it wet. Let's keep an eye on the radar.
All right, sounds good, Jeremy. Thank you very much. Employees and customers at a North Spokane golf course scratching their heads today after a bizarre burglary that involved a half-naked man and thousands of dollars in damages.
KREM 2's Shannon Mowdy spoke to the club's co-owner who got the shock of his life when he found that suspected burglar who apparently broke in but then couldn't get out.
In its 95 years, Wandemere Golf Course has been through a lot. And through most of it,
60 years.
There's been co-owner Herb Brown.
I've been here all my life.
But Brown got the shock of his life early Monday when he opened up shop.
There was a man laying on the floor in the lounge there, and he says, "Hi, Herb," which is startling because I wasn't expecting anybody to talk to me while I was turning the alarm off.
Even more startling, the man was only wearing a t-shirt.
Well, he tried to get in here, but this is shatterproof glass.
Brown says the man is well known for selling golf balls along the highway here. He'd been trespassed from the clubhouse 3 months ago.
Then he used the umbrella it was all jagged glass, and I'm surprised he didn't cut himself. But I think he slid down the umbrella where he had it all laid out.
In all, about $5,000 in damage. The suspect was arrested and charged with burglary, theft, and malicious mischief.
He had his own party in the other room. He had a bottle of whiskey in there that he drank 3/4 of. And I think that's why he was laying on the floor there.
And while this wasn't the club's first break-in,
Yeah, I got in, but well, he couldn't. He was too drunk to get out. I think he couldn't get up.
it's surely the weirdest. Shannon Mowdy.
And then when he left, he said, "I'm sorry, Herb." So he knew what he was doing then.
KREM 2 News.
Fire investigators with the Idaho State Fire Marshal's Office have found a lithium battery is to blame for starting a fire at the Coeur d'Alene Police Department.
Investigators say the battery was from one of the recently acquired e-bikes. That bike was being charged after being used that evening by police. The investigation found the bike was properly plugged into the outlet and there was no evidence of misuse or prior damage.
And happening here in less than an hour, Coeur d'Alene's police chief will be requesting an emergency declaration from City Council that will allow for funding to replace the building and the equipment that was destroyed by that fire. And tonight, North Idaho law enforcement still searching for a woman who went missing on Sunday night.
62-year-old Linda Kent's last known location was in the area of a boat launch on Old Mission State Park in Cataldo. Searchers spent most of Monday combing through the surrounding area of the park. Kent is described as being 5 feet 9 inches tall with silver hair. She was last seen wearing a pink hoodie and green pants. Her family says she suffers from dementia and may not respond immediately if she is contacted.
You got a lot of family members and friends that are wanting us to locate her as soon as we possibly can.
Law enforcement is telling us there is a possibility she may have been picked up by someone driving on I-90 nearby.